Hi, I'm Ken Ham of the STS-124 crew. You're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Discovery, and a special good morning to you today, Ken.
Yes, Senator, appreciate the song, and that is from my absolutely wonderful wife, Michelle. Girl, you are my home, and all of us are going to start our journey home today. And by my rough calculation, that's a little over 1 million miles, but we're going really fast, so we're on our way. Just remember, babe, I love you more.
And we're all looking forward to you coming back.
This morning's wake-up call was Center Field, performed by John Fogerty. It was played for pilot Ken Ham.
And this view showing the crew of Discovery on the flight deck, pilot Ken Ham in the field of view on the left, Karen Nyberg on the right. You can see Garrett Reisman as he takes a final look at the complex that was his orbital home for 90 days. The hatches were closed between the two vehicles late yesterday afternoon. Aki Hoshide and Karen Nyberg will be operating a number of the rendezvous tools during Discovery's departure from the station. The two vehicles will be passing 214 miles over the South Pacific east of Australia. Through sequential still video, compliments of the shuttle's S-band communication system, a good view of the International Space Station. You see at the bottom of your screen the docking interface between the orbiter docking system and that black conical port is the pressurized mating adapter number 2, the forward docking port of the Harmony module. A short time from now, the commands will be given for the hooks and latches between those two docking mechanisms to begin to disengage. Springs on either side of the docking interface will push off against one another, enabling physical separation between the two vehicles.
Discovery Houston on the big loop. The rates look great. You are go for DAP free on time.
Copy. Go for free drift on time. Thank you.
Discovery now has disabled all of its thrusters temporarily, placing the shuttle in what is known as free drift. This to facilitate the smooth separation of the two docking mechanisms from one another.
In station from Discovery, physical separation.
Houston copies physical sep.
Undocking confirmed. Pilot Ken Ham at the controls at the aft flight deck of Discovery. Undocking occurred at 6:42 a.m. Central Time as the two vehicles passed over the South Pacific east of Australia.
Houston station, rest more thrusters only.
Copy. Station is in attitude control. Discovery, this is station.
Discovery, this is station.
Thrusters only. Copy. Thrusters only. Thanks, Sergey.
Okay, bye, Mark. See you.
A good view of the two international modules, the Columbus module on the right and the new Kibo laboratory on the left. The fly around underway. Discovery will move to a point 600 feet directly above the station, then behind and below it, moving once again in front of the station, completing a final quadrant, a fly around to reach a point 600 feet directly above the station once again, at which point a series of reaction control system jet firings will begin the separation by Discovery from the complex. Now flying into an orbital sunrise, a bird's eye view of the International Space Station from the shuttle Discovery. An excellent view from top to bottom. The European Space Agency's Jules Verne automated transfer vehicle mated to the aft end of the Zvezda service module. An end-to-end view of the station's truss. The U.S. laboratory Destiny. At the bottom of your screen, in the middle, is the Harmony connecting node. At the very bottom, the conical black port was pressurized mating adapter number 2, the docking port for Discovery. On the left of your screen, the European Space Agency's Columbus module and the massive Kibo laboratory, the new Japanese laboratory, with its robotic arm in its stowed configuration on the right, and the turret-like circular Japanese logistics module mounted on top. Pilot Ken Ham at the controls of the aft flight deck of the orbiter, which is now directly above the International Space Station, 625 feet away. This view now coming from the International Space Station's cameras, looking at the shuttle Discovery with its robotic arm and the 50-foot-long orbiter boom sensor system attached, which will be used later today for the inspection of the reinforced carbon-carbon on the shuttle's wings and its nose cap. 673 feet separating the two vehicles. Discovery moving to a point behind the International Space Station. Great view of the shuttle Discovery from the International Space Station external cameras. The two vehicles passing off the north coast of South America, now crossing the equator. Looking down at the overhead windows on the crew cabin of Discovery, in which pilot Ken Ham is at the controls, conducting his fly around, the final separation between the two vehicles just over an hour from now. Aboard the International Space Station, NASA science officer and flight engineer Greg Shamatov beginning to work in the post-undocking procedures on the forward docking port for the pressurized mating adapter depressurization as the shuttle Discovery peeks from behind one of the deployed radiators on the complex, virtually directly behind the International Space Station now, 656 feet between the two vehicles. Against the backdrop of the Mediterranean, the shuttle Discovery, 650 feet away from the International Space Station. Discovery flying over northern Italy, directly below the International Space Station. The fly-around continuing under the control of pilot Ken Ham at the aft flight deck of the orbiter. Cameras aboard Discovery now with a great view of the International Space Station. The two craft separated by some 8 miles, having crossed the equator back out over the Atlantic Ocean. Draped across the payload bay of Discovery, the 50-foot-long boom extension, the orbiter boom sensor system that will be used a short time from now by Ken Ham, Karen Nyberg, Ron Garan, and Mike Fossum, taking turns to scan the reinforced carbon-carbon of the leading edges of the wings of the orbiter and its nose cap. The final piece to the thermal protection heat shield puzzle that will clear Discovery for landing at the Kennedy Space Center on Saturday morning. This late inspection comes after the undocking of Discovery 2 hours and 14 minutes ago and a fly around of the International Space Station by pilot Ken Ham. A good view of the shuttle's robotic arm. The orbiter boom sensor system attached to the end of the arm, replete with its laser cameras, its sensor packages, ready to be calibrating those lasers and sensors in preparation for the actual survey of the reinforced carbon-carbon. First the starboard wing of the shuttle, then its nose cap, and then the port wing. Ken Ham, Karen Nyberg, Mike Fossum, and Ron Garan will take turns at the aft flight deck of Discovery, working in groups as they scan back and forth over all of the surfaces of the leading edges of the wings and the nose cap of the orbiter.
And Houston recorders are running.
We copy that, Ken.
Discovery has now maneuvered into the correct orientation to begin the wing survey. First, the starboard wing will be scanned by the orbiter boom sensor system's lasers. There are two packages. One is the laser dynamic range imager, which is mounted underneath an intensified television camera. The other is a laser camera system that's hard mounted to the orbiter boom sensor system. This standard scan of the reinforced carbon-carbon on the leading edges of the wings and the nose cap, instituted after the Columbia accident to provide a complete set of three-dimensional high-resolution data for the imagery analysts here in Mission Control, ensuring that all of the areas of Discovery's thermal protection heat shield are in good shape to support entry and landing back to the Kennedy Space Center.
And Ken, 0.5 crosshairs left, please.
Copy. And how's that?
Checking. It's a keeper, Ken.
Great.
View inside the window of Discovery's flight deck where the crew is working at the robotics workstation, getting the shuttle's robotic arm in place for its survey of the shuttle's nose cap.
Hello, Ron. Hello, Ken and Karen through the overhead windows.
If you look very closely here, you can see the robotic arm moving on its way to get into position for that survey of the shuttle's left wing leading edge. Again, pilot Ken Ham and mission specialist Ron Guerin and Mike Fossum will be at the controls of the shuttle's robotic workstation for this survey. The shuttle's been moving away from the station at a rate of about 6 miles for every orbit of the Earth the two vehicles make. An orbit of the Earth takes about 90 minutes. And as you can see in this view from cameras on board the space station, they've gotten fairly far away. That's the shuttle, the faint light that you see in the center of the screen. Now about 40 miles away from the station. And again, moving another 6 miles every 90 minutes.